Not today.
One time, the evil came to me as a little girl because it wanted me to doubt myself.
Alright, I'll use my mic for a little bit. Sorry, y'all. It kind of got me in a weird mood there. All that stuff. All right. Yeah, Vapor. I've actually been talking for a bit. It kind of got derailed with that last one. Yeah, I'll kind of be keeping my eye on the chat, and I'll answer you guys' questions there. Johnny, I think you actually answered a question a while ago, or you asked a question a bit ago. Let me see. Let me get this all set up. Johnny, maybe, like I said, I don't mind doing these, kind of, like, you know, animations where, like, you know, we have some suggestive stuff going on, but if it's, like, focused exclusively on that, I'm not sure. I don't mind doing, like, flexing. I think flexing would be pretty great, actually, given, you know, the subject matter. So yeah, I'm down to do, like, you know, a flexing one. It's actually one of the ones yeah, definitely a little suggestive, but I want to make sure it's, like, you know, suggestive and not quite an overt, like, you know, hey, look at her butt sort of thing. Because, I mean, obviously with, like, you know, the character Jen Walters, there's a very undeniable sensuality there. She's very proud of, like, how she looks and all that, and she wouldn't be, like, covering herself up in a normal manner. I never said that dude's name out loud. Telepurte. Yeah. I gotta admit that particular artist is not exactly an inspiration of mine. I love his work, but I've never, like, looked at it and been like, you know, I gotta do something like that, you know. Stuff like this is okay for me. I don't mind. Telepert. There we go. Pert. Telepert. All right. Sorry, dudes. I'm gonna get back into it. I'm sorry. Let me get back to drawing. You know, if it wasn't for that bull crap we had to just deal with right there, I think I would have actually been done with this already. Her breakdown drawings. Jesus. Yeah, for all you guys who draw out there, I mean, you ever have that where, like, you're drawing and you're in the zone and then something just takes you out of it? That's kind of where I'm at right now. Like, for the past couple of days, or especially, like, yesterday, when I was drawing out her breakdowns, then I felt like every stroke that I was every brush stroke was, like, right. Like, you know what I mean? Right now, I kind of got to work my way back there. Luckily, we're just in the tracing. We're just tracing right now. Hard parts, the hard part, which is, like, you know, doing the rough animation and all that's the part that I like. I don't like doing tie downs. so much. I don't like doing ink work. It's not fun for me. Um, that's kind of one reason why I don't do too many like still drawings either. I like to explore like motion. So there's obviously motion to be found when you're drawing out stills 100%. It's not really my preferred thing to do. Uh, yeah, Johnny, I think that might have done the trick. That said, that person showed up like an hour after we started, so I kind of got my finger to the pulse here. We're gonna see kind of what happens, but I think that might have helped a lot. I kind of I'm gonna just reuse this one. Whenever I'm animating at this phase, I like to reuse drawings just to save a little bit of time. When it's in motion, you're probably not gonna notice I did it. What was another thing? Vapor. Um, I went to school, yeah. I actually just graduated from a school in San Francisco in January, but I've been drawing for a long time. Um, I actually got to skip over a lot of the introductory courses in the school that I went to because because of the fact that I have been doing this before. So I was able to skip over a lot of the introductory stuff. Jeez. Vapor. I did go to art school. Like I said, I graduated in January. Vapor. If you are interested in knowing what school I went to, um, I actually went to this school in San Francisco called California College of the Arts. It's a pretty good school. The reason I chose that school was because a artist hero of mine, his name is Max Yarte, but in the Marine Corps he's known as Terminal Lance. He was actually in the Marine Corps, um, and he was actually in a sister battalion of my battalion, which was 1st Battalion, 3rd Marines. His battalion was 3rd Battalion, 3rd Marines. So we both actually were on the same, well, not at the same time, but we were actually both on the same base. We went to a lot of the same places, except he went to Iraq. I went to Korea and Japan. Um, he got out like 10 years ago or something like that, more like 15 years ago. Comic strip, think like Calvin and Hobbes. And he talks about like the absurdities of military life. And it's really funny. But yeah, no, he's a very prolific artist. Um, he's a very prolific artist, and I've actually gotten in touch with him since I got out. Did a little bit of work for him. But yeah, that's why I chose that school. Ah, Jesus. One sec, Phyllis. Let me get that. Let me get that set up. Okay, maybe that did it. Um, I wonder if the Wi-Fi keeps cutting off. I might need to just go text. Just to reiterate, See you later, Snuffy. Just to reiterate, though, yeah, I went to school in San Francisco. I followed in the footsteps of a artist hero of mine who was also in the Marine Corps. I'll try to keep my my responses brief, so that way you know, you guys don't get cut off or bored with my rambling. So, because we're in the line work phase, and a lot of my roughs, excuse me, that were drawn, are still a little sketch. When I get to this phase here, drawing the breakdowns, I kind of got to pay a little more attention to like what's happening with the shapes and the lines, so that way I can create a somewhat consistent degree of well, consistency. It doesn't got to be perfect. Like that's one thing about, like, you know, just doing like indie animation. You don't have to make like every single frame like, you know, a masterpiece. You can get away with a lot of cheating. So as long as I maintain like a somewhat consistent degree, or a somewhat consistent flow to my drawings, then the effect will work just fine. So like here, for example, like I got a bunch of scribbles here that would come down from where her I think that's the what is that muscle called? Something with that S. God, I studied this stuff intensely. It's the sartorius. That's it. It's a sartorius muscle. Kind of comes down and comes around her thigh and comes down to her knee. So I'm just representing the sartorius in this case with a couple of little lines there to suggest it, but I don't need to flesh it out too much. When I get down to the in-betweens, I'm gonna get a lot looser with them, because there's really not a need to go that intense with them. So that's why I gotta put a little more focus on these drawings. Like right here, her pectoralis major, when it comes in from her arm, I gotta just make sure that those lines that I use to represent them are present when we go between the key drawings and the breakdowns. Her serratus would probably be somewhat represented here, but I'm gonna leave that alone. Just for the heck of it, I think I might bring her eyebrows down a tad for this drawing, just for a little bit of deviancy. That doesn't look right. Yeah, that's not right. I need to get rid of that. might add a little bit of that there. I need to represent her clavicles a bit too, where it kind of comes down in front of her breastplate. I need to make sure that that's included too. They represent the abs in her suit, but they also serve as a stand-in for her abs themselves. When I get to the shading phase, like over here, for example, I included some shading to help represent like her actual ab muscles, so the shapes are suggested. So, like for example, like when I go to this frame here, and I apply the rendering, it's suggested. But for now, I like to have just those lines there, because again, there's stand-ins, and they also apply to her suit. Okay, what was I doing? Johnny, in this particular cartoon, I don't think so either. I'm not rendering her abs out to that degree. That's not the real goal here. But this is also a major step forward from the muscle drawings I did on the last one. And I actually missed a drawing, so I need to go back and do this one. Ahura. The main thing that inspired me to animate this character was I was watching this show on Disney Plus, and it was just like awful. And so I thought, you know, I could do better than that. So I tried drawing her out, and it got a massive response, and that made me happy. So I continue to draw her out. Thing is, Jennifer Walters is actually a really interesting character from the comics. I like her in those too. Just kind of like the ideas she represents with, you know, being a woman in a man's world. Yeah, don't sweat that too much, Johnny. I do want to do stuff like that, just kind of like, you know, flexing up the muscles and all that. I know enough about muscles, and I have enough reference to do that accurately. It's just, I'm not going to focus too much on it this time. Yeah, Jarvis, the CGI was... I have conflicted feelings about the CGI. Like, it wasn't bad. It's just... Okay, I'm gonna be upfront. It was pretty bad. But I don't like to say that overtly, because I don't blame the CGI artists. I blame the showrunners. They had a budget. They blew it on the wrong stuff, and the department, in my opinion, that suffered for that the most, unduly, was the effects department. They tried their best, man. They really did, and I would assume they had major time constrictions in addition to budgetary. I too miss that, Johnny. CGI has been abused for a long time. Suits and all that, producers, executives they generally don't appreciate the magnitude of what it takes to actually create CGI. I've got a lot of friends who do 3D stuff. Like and I do 3D too. I've actually taught 3D animation at a school before. It's incredibly labor intensive, and I respect the heck out of it. It's just the ones who worked on She-Hulk really got the shaft. So, yeah, I try to be a little merciful when I talk about the CGI for the show. I don't blame the CGI people. I think they did great. That's true, Aura. You don't have full control over your creations when you work for a studio. You can have like a masterpiece shot and then someone comes in and says, throw it all away and do this instead. That's just an unfortunate fact of life in show business. That's kind of why I don't. That's why I feel good when I do these. I'm not working for a studio when I do this. I'm doing this all of my own accord. I have full control over what gets made, and I don't have to. Aside from helpful feedback, which I love, I don't have to change it for anyone. That's kind of why I don't really want to get a job in. I really don't want to get a job in the animation industry, even if I got one. If I got a job offer, I'd be pretty freaking thrilled, and I think I might take it just for the money and the experience on my resume. But if I just did this the rest of my life, and got to make my own independent stuff and have it pay the bills, that would be a life I would be very happy with. Let's see, I think I saw something there. Vapor. I actually, one of my favorite recent examples of CGI, and I don't think I watch enough movies to really be a voice of authority on this. But Mad Max Fury Road, when that came out, I wasn't even aware that a lot of that was CGI. That's when CGI is at its best. Aside from animated movies, of course. I hear that, Jarvis. I can't draw today, man. Usually on days like today where I'm not feeling it, I'd probably just not draw. I'd probably just go outside and go for a walk or something. But I told myself today I will get this done. It's part of my like production schedule, so. Sometimes you gotta work when you don't want to. That's usually when it's the most important. I have this like word that I use for times like now. I like to say that these times that I'm in right now. Actually, I'm a little past them at this point, but when I'm in the middle of the like the whole process and there's a lot left to do, I like to say like I'm in the pits. You know what I mean? Like the deep dark pits. It's a slog where you're so far forward in the process that like you've made progress and you're getting there. But there's still a lot left to do, and the whole thing seems insurmountable. One of the harder parts of animating. Yeah, in the trenches. That's one of the harder parts, or the harder stages of animating for me, is just pulling through that part, because it's this whole thing is a long process, man, like super long. Let me do it for draw her face in real quick. It's a bit of a tangent. You generally don't want to have features on a face directly line up with another feature. It's bad practice. But in this case, I can let it slide. What's going on, Jam? You get to hear my voice today. I gotta draw that part of her arm. What do you mean ape stuff, like anthropology? Oh. Well, welcome, Jam. Alright, there's some weird stuff going on here. There we go. Oof. Honestly, dudes, once I get this, once I get the breakdowns done, I might stop for today. All that trolling kind of took it out of me. But I will accomplish what I set out to do today. I gotta learn to be more resilient to this trolling stuff. Okay, yeah, see, here's a problem. Get rid of that. Suggestion there. Something missing here. When you guys are drawing out your characters, it might be a good idea next time you give it a shot to have the inside details be a lesser thickness than the outside. Just it adds a little something to it. Some inconsistencies here. So let me go ahead and get those. So glad to hear that, Jim. Yeah, Tiger, I'll check that out. Sorry I haven't gotten to it yet. Before I move on to breakdown or in-betweens, I'll probably go through all the drawings again just to make sure that their line weight is consistent. Consistent enough, anyway. As long as there's no like glaring discrepancies with the line thickness, they don't all have to be exact. As long as they look somewhat the same at first glance. I kind of want to do a full body cartoon as well because I don't like cutting the drawings off at the knees, but in this particular cartoon, it's okay. All right, I think that's fine. All right. So the last two I'm gonna do for now are gonna be these two right here for sort of victory pose. And then once I get those done, that will be all the breakdowns. All right, here we go. I'm actually gonna do this one first. Okay. Alright, Vapor. See you later. I'm actually gonna reuse her head drawing here. I'll have to change her expression a little bit, but it'll save me a little bit of time. So her eyes are shut here. And her hair is in the wrong spot, so I'm gonna need to change that. Yeah, it's a good thing I animated all that stuff before, because animating it at this stage might have looked a little stiff. Yeah, the freckles were a sort of impromptu call. Kind of glad I put them in, though. I was never very good at drawing the armpit area. There's a lot of intersecting muscles there. You got like the triceps, the biceps, the pectoralis major, the deltoids, the latissimus dorsi. There's a lot going on, so I've always been kind of confused there. But that's why you gotta have reference for stuff like this. It doesn't even gotta look like totally perfect either, it just needs to look good enough. Yes, Domino, I can talk. Shit. Man, my posture sucks. Let's see. Too far down, I'll do her. I'll draw her arms first. I'm gonna steal her hand drawing here too. Pretty much all of the drawings that close out this thing can probably have a lot of reused assets. As long as I get them lined up in the right spot. Let me turn the music up a little bit. Maybe, well, I mean, the music isn't gonna help. It's all piano right now, but I don't want you guys to listen to my voice. Hope that helped. Well, that's the unfortunate nature of animation too. It's quite slow. It's not like a rock star endeavor. I'm American too. What is 177 centimeters? Oh, okay. It's like I missed that drawing. So I need to include that. Oops. Okay. Not much left to do today, guys. I'm probably gonna call it after this next drawing. We're pretty close, though. Some lines for Sartorius. Okay, we got some line weight differences. Let me go ahead and fix that. Let's see. So we got a bit of space here where her pelvis matches into the back muscles of her leg, gluteus maximus and all that, so you gotta kind of suggest all that jazz here. The heavier line weight would suggest that all of this area is enveloped in shadow, so it makes it a little easier. I've got to render out the details fully. Here's a fun muscle name for you guys. Sternocleidomastoideus. It's one of your neck muscles. Yeah, Orlando, I kind of wanted to give using the mic a try, see how it affected my workflow. Doesn't seem to have too much of a hindrance, so I may or may not do this again. Probably. It's really not so bad. Main thing I was concerned about is y'all would think I sounded like a little weasel. Like, oh, well, that's who's doing this. Ugh. Oh, with that, I'm gonna go to someone who sounds more masculine. No, I appreciate you guys sticking around and not making a big thing of it. Even after all that jazz in the military, I still get stage fright. Okay, that's not right. Thank you, Domino. Yeah, thanks, Tiger. I don't know. I want to try to. Yeah, trust me, I am aware, and I had to stop myself. But that is the scientific term, so suck it. Let's just, okay. Where her obliques come down. What's going on, John? Doing my voice chat today. So where that top quadrant of her rectus abdominis comes down, I wanted to represent that here too. Okay. Same thing here, I didn't represent her sartorius, so I gotta make sure that's somewhat represented. Okay. Let's make sure all the sections are closed up. Mr. Glove. Okay. Oh, I missed something. We gotta go ahead again anyway. I know it's not spatially correct, but I'll let it go. This line over here in front of her chest, that's just for shading purposes later. So I can tell where the midpoint is. Alright. Take a breather for a sec. Stretch my back out. Yeah, I spend a lot of time leaning forward. A lot of people who draw do. Get your back. Yeah, I was playing for a sec. I think the last World War II game I played was Hell Let Loose. Never heard of Pearl Harbor 0 Hour. That's one I never heard of. Oh, Call of Duty World at War. That game rocked. I loved that game when it came out. Oh yeah, World at War was super inaccurate. Like everything about the Pacific campaign was totally just not accurate to World War II history. And then Stalingrad and all that Silo Heights stuff in Berlin. Like none of it was historically accurate, really. But like, you kind of overlook it because of just how like the atmosphere is what carried that game, man. That game didn't pull no punches. Alright. Let's get this last drawing done. I'll jump in a little bit. Call of Duty Vanguard was just garbage. Joseph, yeah, there would be some support there. Women generally don't, well, when they're conducting like physical activities, they don't generally just walk around letting them just hang. So her pec muscles will actually push them a little higher up on her chest. They're gonna like sit on them a little more. I did shrink them a little bit compared to the last video. The reason she looks flat right now is because I didn't really apply any like. Here, let me show you. She doesn't look quite as, flat like this. When I apply shading to it, there's a little bit of volume applied. I could maybe apply a little more shading, like right here, to her pec muscle. But they're actually, relatively quite prominent. Once I get the shading in, then it'll look more voluminous. Not sure if that's the word, but you get my meaning. Now, most of the exaggerated sections for this are going to be like in her her back muscles and her legs and all that. I didn't want to go too ham. No, just that wasn't the word I was looking for either. It was It's like voluminous, like suggesting volume. If she were standing in front of you at like her height, though, I don't think that would make much of a difference. To a normal dude, that would look they would look pretty freaking gargantuan. What's going on, Sked? Yeah, I gotta kind of watch my language, man. So yeah, don't sweat it. Once I get everything all rendered out, that should correct your grievances. Matthias, yeah, she's 8'5", almost 9 feet. Thank you very much, Mr. Cholesterol. Hey, I'm gonna post my Patreon here just in case anyone wants to take a look at it. In order to keep these things going, I probably won't be able to monetize too much on YouTube if this gets, bigger. I'm gonna have to rely on crowdfunding. So if you don't mind, take a look at my Patreon if you want to see more of these made. Because I'd like to make more. I've got plenty of ideas. No pressure or anything. It's just, it's there if you want to take a look. I have some options for like $1 a month, $2 a month, just something if you want to help out a little bit. Yes, sir, Jam. We're talking almost 9 feet. Thank you very much for that again, Tom. I'll post. I gotta take more effort to get you guys more stuff to thank you, more still drawings and all that. That said, if you're not on these streams, you're not really getting updates for this on like YouTube or anything. Thank you very much, Jim. I kind of want to have an animation where we can actually see the height difference very clearly illustrated. That would be kind of fun. There's a lot of physical humor that you can have with that, in addition to other things. But yeah. Some of the muscles are kind of like looking a little strange, but there's enough there to where I think people will overlook it anyway. A lot of John Hansen, he's in the chat, his drawings are like anatomically like immaculate. They're like ridiculously well realized. I think they're great. And a lot of other people do too. All right. I think that's not bad. Oh shoot! I totally didn't draw her legs. It's like the main thing here, man. Jeez. I'm probably gonna need to call it after this drawing here. I just like to enjoy the rest of the Sunday. But I'll make sure this is finished first. Domino, it is, it's sort of related. It's the same character and all that. It's just, you know, there's not really much in the way of continuity. Overlord, we're talking somewhere over like maybe 12, maybe 13. Like, the way I imagine the Hulk is kind of like, you know, like how I think he's supposed to be. It's like the dude's a monster. Like, the dude is like, well, he's an unstoppable green killing machine. His size should reflect that. So, like, how I imagine this would go with this character as well is, like, right now, this is kind of like her base, like, control, like, form. But what I like to imagine, and what I want to try doing, is having her, like, go full-on Berserker mode, and she would go like, I want to utilize the gray Hulk form. She'd probably be more comparable to the Hulk at that stage. Like way more refined or way more like defined and like, you know, overdeveloped muscles and stuff. Welcome back, Tiger. We're just talking like well, we've been talking about a lot actually. I think there was a point where we were talking about Call of Duty. Right now we're talking about like Jennifer at different stages of like, you know, muscle development. Yeah, like ridiculously buttered up. Yeah, I totally forgot about her legs and all that Call of Duty talk. Look good now, though. Oh, excuse me. Alright. I don't need to draw her hand, I don't think. Oh, never mind, I totally do. I missed it. I'm just gonna copy this one. I'm feeling kind of lazy. Have a good night, Mr. Cholesterol. If you do take a look at it, I would be very much appreciated. It would seriously help with getting more of these out there. I'm gonna go ahead and rename it some. Okay. I think that is good. Let me just take a look. Yeah, Tiger, go take a break, man. Go get some sleep. Prepare for your test tomorrow. No, these are vector, so they're I don't need to draw it that big. I don't draw it that big of a size. But I plan to export this in 4K. I also want to make use of Adobe After Effects. Maybe apply some like motion blur to like, you know, some of the faster moving parts when she moves around. There's also some extra lighting things that we can do, so I might play around with that. Some when we get to it. But you know, one step at a time. I don't like that chicken scratch thing. We do that again, and that angle's worse. All right. I personally would recommend it. You don't gotta worry about, you know, having to deal with pixelation. It's really not fun to worry about while you're drawing. But that said, I draw in Photoshop as well, and that's you know, it's doable. I usually like to draw in just for standard 1920 by 1080. There's really no problem with that. If there's any other artists here that can offer some pointers on that, though, I mean, I'm just one dude. There's plenty of other valid sizes and stuff. Don't worry, Tiger. I won't be on this much longer. I won't be here to distract you. That's fine. I don't like her hand drawing here, if I'm being honest. If I wanted to like export this as like a single frame, I would probably, I would more accurately draw her hand, but luckily in this frame where I have it in the rendering screen, it's mostly cut off, so you're not gonna like notice it. But if I wanted to like export this particular frame, I would definitely go back to that hand. But like this frame right here, like everything looks more or less fine. So if I was to use like anything for like a poster or like a thumbnail, I'd probably use this one. Or maybe maybe not this one. It's a little too overt. I might go with I'd probably go with what the heck? Here we go. I'd probably go with one of these ones too. I really like these drawings though. Like I think it's a nice balance of like, you know, musculature and cuteness, and you get a good look at her freckles too. But yeah, I do like these last victory poses too. Alright, I'm gonna go through Tiger. I think you're talking about one of these ones. This one right here. Yeah, this one's, I like this one too. Once I apply some shading to it, we'll get a more sense of her volume, because right now it's all kind of like, you know, together. But yeah, I like this one as well. In fact, I should probably give her a little more lightweight down here. I don't know. I'll have like a little poll. We'll figure out which thumbnail would probably be best. Personally, I'm kind of leaning towards this one. This one isn't. It's not too bad. It's not really that like overt. Like it's somewhat suggestive, but like it's really not like, what's the word I'm looking for? Tasteless, I guess is the word I would try to say. Like even though the angle like shows a lot, it's somewhat dignified. I kind of like that. Not saying anything about anyone who draws anything like that. Like there's definitely a place for it, but that's not what I'm doing here. Let me go ahead and get her freckles drawn in where I don't have them, and I'm probably gonna call it. But let me go find where her freckles are missing. You know, before I go, I'm actually gonna I'm actually gonna test something out because I want to not just have her freckles, but I want to have a bit of like discoloration in that area too. So I might give something. I might give. You know what? I'll show you guys when I get there. Let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and put them in first. I got her. I've got her freckle pattern right here for easy reference. Okay. I'm gonna move it a little closer. Joseph, I didn't do a whole lot in terms of perspective this time, like nothing overt. Like when I'm over here actually, for this drawing, there's actually a lot of perspective actually happening here. It's subtle, but it's there, so that's why I kind of like the drawing. There's nothing like too vertigo inducing. I would like to do something like that later though. I did a little bit of stuff like that in the last one, but it wasn't so much of a focus this time. That's the wrong color. Sorry about that, man. I don't exactly have a warning in place, but okay. I think it's good for her face. Let me go ahead and get her freckles in there. By her hair. Well, we got a couple more right here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Here we've got a little more exposed. So boom, boom. Things like this, it's good to like flip back and forth to make sure there's consistency with the pattern. It doesn't got to be exact. That's kind of why I have it laid out here. I've got like 2 triangles for her cheeks and then a sort of like little dipper thing happening up here. Okay, so here we got a more frontal view. Boom, 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 and boom, 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 boom. Alright. Yeah, I don't have it here, so I better move that over. Keeps moving in front of the pattern. I could probably make these a little bigger, actually. Okay. So I might reduce the opacity just a tad. Okay. So I want to test something out really quick. I'm gonna see if I can't apply a little bit of discoloration to this area here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna convert all these guys into a pencil stroke, and then I'm going to you know what? Let me explain as I go. I'm gonna create basically an underlayer for the line work beneath the freckle, and I'm going to apply a little bit of blur to it. And then in the same way that I made the shading mesh with the colors, I'm going to make the under freckle layer mesh with the colors too. So let me see if I can't do that. It's going to be a little tricky. So, where would I start? I'm just gonna do it for one frame to see if it works. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of the shading for now. Yeah, sorry, Joseph. It sounded a lot clearer in my head. But let me do this right here. What's going on, DJ? So I'm going to. Yeah. All right. So. Yes, sir, DJ. This be my voice. This is gonna kind of suck. Let's see. You guys will have to bear with me. I got to do a lot of node work here. Yeah, there's no guarantee this is gonna work either. I'm just gonna give it a try. So, go ahead and turn the freckle back on. So, right now I have two layers of freckles, one for the actual freckles and then one for underlayer. So what I'm going to try I'm going to apply a bit of blur to these guys here. I'll explain in a minute, Tiger. Let me just try to figure this out. Oh, sweet. Glad to hear that, DJ. Can you tell me who it is? You can tell me in a private chat if you want. So, here's what I'm gonna do. Guys in. I figure this out, I'm gonna be able to do this across all the drawings, so it won't be like a frame by frame thing. All right, so you guys can probably see it. Yeah, there's a bit of a underlayer to her freckles. Adds a bit of discoloration to her skin. So, what I'm gonna do next. Is there anything I really gotta do next? Yeah, you're getting it. So, yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to do. Turn this down. It's subtle, but it's there. So, let me go ahead and give that a try on one more frame, because if it works, then I can just do this for every drawing. And there won't be like a crazy, it won't be a crazy process to get this done. So let me do it on our other drawing where I have freckles that I like the most. So. All right, Tiger. Thanks for having thanks for moderating today. Sorry that today was kind of a hassle. Let me turn this off the blur for now. Convert these guys. Oh yeah, it was bad earlier, man. Like, there was someone who was coming in and really blowing up the chat with some really weird stuff. So we had to actually change the permissions for like who could join this thing. Okay. So then I grab these guys, right? Turn their size up a bit. Alright. So let's go ahead and turn that blur on. Alright, I like it, but there's kind of a problem. I don't like how it goes outside of the drawing. So what I need to do is the same way that I did the shading for the drawing I did way over here. I need to apply that same thing here. So let me do that really quick. All right. So I'm going to use the same node that I used for the shading. So what I might do, I'm going to separate this one from here. So here's my shading, proper shading layer. What I want to do is I want to merge this guy, and I kind of want this to be over here too. Alright, so let me go ahead and do that. Let me get my tone node. Oop. So now these two layers are merged into one drawing. So if I go back here, we can now notice that the blur does not go outside of the lines anymore. And we have just the faintest sort of like under color for her freckles. I don't like the color it is right now though, so let me go ahead and play with that. I'm gonna do it right here. Unfortunately, you guys won't be able to really see it. Let me do it this way. Let's go back to the camera. So I can adjust that here. So let's see what I can do. Turn the intensity up a little bit and I'll see if I can play around with the color. You know, this feature used to be a lot simpler before I hopped on Harmony 2022. And now it kind of sucks. Let's see. Okay. Better. Okay. That's kind of the nature of the beast, man. You gotta kind of figure it out. Let's see what that does. Whoops. Let's see. That's probably fine. It's subtle, but you can see it. I might even turn it down a little bit. Let me see, where was it? Yeah, like you notice it, like it's there, but it's not quite so in your face, but your eye picks it up. You know what? I might try to do that for the rest of them, but it's gonna be all one process. I just wanted to test it out and see if this would work. So I'm gonna keep the settings that I made here, and I'll come back to them later. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these all back where they belong. All right, 1 second. So I still want them to be there. So get rid of this for now. There we go. But yeah, that'll be a neat little effect to do when we get there. I might even add a bit of red to it. That's probably a little too much red, huh? Gotta be a little more on the green side. Yeah. Alright, here we go. Cool. Alright. I think I'm gonna stop there for today. I appreciate everyone coming in and hanging out. Sorry about all that troll business we had to deal with earlier. I am going to log off and enjoy the rest of the Sunday. I'll probably be back with another stream tomorrow. Keep on trucking. All of the breakdowns and key drawings have actually been done. I just finished that today. So these are all the. In fact, let me show you what I mean by that. That's true, Domino. I've got like 5 versions of this already saved. So where was I? I'm actually going to turn the rough layer off. So now, if we play it out, you know, all of the drawings that we need to actually tell the story of the drawing are there. And it all looks relatively sound. There are some little hiccups there that I might go and clean up a little later. But all in all, yeah, the key drawings and the breakdowns as they are look fine. I'm satisfied. Let me actually play with some sound just to kind of get a feel for it. Let me turn the sound on so we can actually hear Stacey's voice.
Tag him. 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 Tag him.
Alright, yeah. I'd say we are on the right track. I like it. I'm actually quite satisfied with this. Even at its you know, lack of in-betweens, you still get the idea of what's happening, and the drawings are all relatively sound. Yeah. So I think that's all I got today, guys. So, thanks again for coming, and things shouldn't have we shouldn't have too many more problems with the trolls going forward. The chats have we have more moderators, and probably more moderators coming, and let's see. Oh wait, I didn't reattach this, did I? Shoot, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second, guys. I was wondering why the hell the shading wasn't showing up. There we go. Yeah. Alright then, dudes. I'm gonna sign off for today. Thanks for coming. And thanks for bearing with my voice. If you guys wanna like help out with like, you know, oh, sorry, rapper. There's gonna be more, so don't sweat it. But if you guys want to help like support like some making of this, I have to stick to crowdfunding because YouTube is probably not gonna let me monetize this much longer. If you want to help out, my Patreon link's at the top. Every little bit helps me out. I would like to get some extra animators on board, and Patreon's how I'm looking to make that happen. All right, dudes. I'm taking off. You guys have a good Sunday, and I'll more than likely see you tomorrow. Be safe.